Thank you, Inland Empire, for listening to KCAA Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a child of God, a husband, NRA conservative, radical right-wing supervillain, and Twitter rock star. American by birth, Texan by choice, and a badass by nature. He's the owner of TomO'Halloran.com, O'HalloranMedia.com, and PatriotRadio.net. Please welcome Tom O'Halloran.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
And welcome to Jihad on America. I am your host, Tom O'Halloran, broadcasting from deep in my bunker in Arcantana, Brascarado, to educate, irritate, and agitate. And folks, I'm going to guarantee you this time, by the time we're done, you'll be full agitated. If you'd like to join the conversation tonight, please call 888-909-1050. If you'd like to listen on your phone, the number is 832-999-1050. You can also listen to the live stream, or now join in the chat room and watch the live stream video at PatriotRadioshow.com. Again, my name's Tom O'Halloran. I'm Twitter. I'm TPO_hisself. My primary blog is TomO'Halloran.com. When you get there, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Spreaker, Twitter, any other social media that you fancy. Also, please follow my editor, Veronica Coffin. Veronica does most of the heavy lifting on my websites these days, and without her doing that, I couldn't do this. And Veronica, I know you're listening. Thank you, and know that you're appreciated. Please visit the Facebook page for Jihad on America. It's Facebook.com/Patriot Radio Show, and like us there as well. I'm on air 3 nights a week on Mondays or Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I do Patriot Radio with Tom O'Halloran. Same place, same time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. On Friday nights, such as tonight, I do Jihad on America, where I cover the Islamists in America, who they are, what they want, and why you should be afraid. Each week we continue pulling back the mask of Islam, looking at what's being done in the name of Allah, both here and abroad. I do the news about Islam abroad because it's a look into the future, what's going to happen here in the homeland if we allow the cancer of Islam to spread. If you did not catch my show on the Muslim Brotherhood, please go to PatriotRadioshow.com and watch it. Same thing. If you haven't heard my show, Islam is not a religion. Do yourself a favor and get to PatriotRadioshow.com and listen to that. It will inform you, it will open your eyes, and it will give you a solid foundation upon which we build each week. Keep abreast of my shows, listen to the live stream, as well as archives of shows you may have missed, all on PatriotRadioshow.com. Before we get started, I'd like to thank my sponsor for tonight's show, A. Nobody, noted author of Native Texan, a terrific novel about a police officer in Houston, unhappy with the way people are coming to Texas. There's a series of killings that go on, and it's a great story about how the mystery is solved. I'm going to give away a copy of this book at the bottom of the hour, so please stay with us. Next up, before we get started on the actual show, go to PatriotRadioshow.com. I'm holding it up here in front of the camera. There it is. Our T-shirts are in. Patriot Radio Show with Tom O'Halloran. T-shirts are in, all colors, men's, women's, hoodies, sweats, the whole 9 yards. So stop by, pick them up. Prices are marked down as low as they can go. Okay, we're going to kick off the show tonight the way we do every Friday. We're going to bring you up to speed. What's been happening with the religion of peace, as they call it. in the week that we've been apart. Over the last 7 days, there have been over 35 Islamic attacks. In Syria, 9 people killed as Caliphate members slit the throats of captives. Yemen, a bomb planted by Al-Qaeda takes out 14 innocents on a main street, another 16 wounded. Baghdad, 13 people lose their lives to Mujahideen bombing outside a family home, 13 dead, 27 wounded. Nigeria, 31 dead and 97 wounded as pro-Sharia gunmen fire into a village while shouting Allah Akbar. Yemen, 14 dead as the religion of peace proponents capture and behead 14 soldiers. Iraq, 15 members of the Yazidi family are beheaded by the Islamic State. Women are taken away for, quote, marriage, which they mean rape. And that's only a partial count on the Yazidi thing because the numbers are still coming in. We do know that there have been another 97 up on that hill that have been killed. The people up there have been raped and tortured. They've been starved. They were suffering from dehydration. We're going to cover that situation much more detail this evening. It's one of the worst genocides that we've seen in a long, long time. And if you're watching TV, you know that President Obama finally conceded to sending in some supplies, some help for these people. They've been sending food and water. What they're not telling you is that this butthead president is sending them by a plane and dropping them off from 15,000 feet without parachutes. Now, these people are dehydrating on the mountain. Here comes bottles of water dropping down from 15,000 feet, exploding all around them. There's still no water. There is no food. It hits the ground and it explodes, not from explosions, but just from impact. The people are throwing themselves off the mountain rather than to waste away and have their throats slit by these dirtbags. Okay, what do we got? The jihadist flag is being flown in East London. Outside an apartment building, a jihadist flag being flown in the UK. This isn't in Afghanistan. It's not in Iraq or Syria. This is right in London. Now you're thinking, okay, well, that's over there. Well, that's them. It's never going to happen here, right? Guess what, my friends? Wrong. Wrong old reindeer. In New Jersey, a jihad flag was flying outside of an apartment building as well. Right outside on Winslow Place in Garwood. Pictures were taken. It was sent around on the internet. So now you're thinking, okay, well, that's just New Jersey. It couldn't happen in a real American place, right? Guess what? The jihad flag was hanging on the fence out in front of the White House. In front of our own White House. They're here. They're gaining in numbers. They're gaining in strength. They're gaining in courage, knowing that Obama is in their corner. He's been feeding them. He's been sending weapons to them. He's been arming them. And now he's going to protect them and give them cover here in America as well. My friends, we got a whole lot to talk about tonight. Please stay with us. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm waving to everybody in the chat room. Love you guys. Thanks. We'll be right back.
Your voice, your opinions, heard round the world at www.kcaaradio.com. The station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050 KCAA.
Tom O'Halloran, holding the line against tyranny from Washington, D.C.
I am America, one voice, united we stand.
welcome back. If you're just arriving, this is Jihad on America. I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. Good column from Don Feder this week. The top 10 differences between Israel and the Palestinians. First off, Israel is a country. Palestine is a lie. It doesn't exist. It's just a region. There is no country. There are no people. They are just Arabs. 2, Israel is a modern nation. Its economy has a strong high-tech sector. If terrorism was a commodity, the Palestinians would have one of the world's largest GDPs. They don't have an economy other than terrorism. 3, Israel's a democracy. It's the only one in the region, the very only one. The Palestinian Authority and Hamas are to democracy what Chicago is to good government. Christians thrive in Israel. Christians are disappearing from the West Bank as they are in the rest of the Muslim world. Israel tries to minimize civilian casualties on both sides. They protect their people with the Iron Dome. When they're ready to send missiles over to the Hamas sites where rockets are coming from, they always either send a warning shell or they call over and tell people they have 15 minutes to clear out. They try their best to protect all people. The Palestinians try to maximize casualties on both sides. They try to maximize Palestinian casualties as well as their own. A third of the rockets that Hamas sends into Israel fall short and land on the Gaza Strip, killing their own people. Israel is an American ally. The Palestinians are our enemies. The left hates Israel, and the left loves the terrorists, which is a sad state of commentary on the American left. Israel is willing to live with the Palestinians, and they are. A large percentage of the Israelis, the people that are living within Israel, are Palestinians. The Palestinians, however, want to annihilate Israel. Hamas, one of the ruling factors in Palestine, has it in their charter, the very first paragraph in their charter. We exist to annihilate Israel, to kill all the Jews. Israel fights for civilization as well as its own survival. Palestine, as it would be called, is one front of a world war. The world being Muslims everywhere wanting to kill Jews everywhere. And the last of the list, the Palestinians can lose many times and keep fighting. Israel could only lose once, and there would be no Israel. If you've seen the news of the struggles in the Gaza Strip in Israel, you're probably aware that Israel is sending rockets in and attacking different locations. Well, they should. They're defending their self, their very existence. They're defending their citizens. But if you watch the news, you see people being loaded on stretchers. You see bodies laid out on the ground. You see people running to bodies laying on the ground. There is a whole industry, if you will, in the Gaza Strip. It's called Pallywood, Palestinian filmmaking. And if you go to TomO'Halloran.com, you'll see an article I posted, when did I do this? Wednesday. It shows bodies laid out, covered with sheets, people walking around like they're getting ready to have a press conference with all these bodies draped and covered with sheets. And as they pan the camera across, you'll see one after another moving, one of them lifting the sheet and talking to the cameraman. This was a behind-the-scenes video that wasn't supposed to get out. So many of these videos, and I've watched dozens of them, so many of the videos are fake. What gets seen is a Palestinian soldier squatting beside a hole in a wall and firing into it like he's shooting at the Israelis. But when you see the behind-the-scenes footage, you see the civilians directing the military at where to squat, where to come running from. They pan back and you can see that there's nothing on the other side of the wall. It's all fake. The casualties are good for Hamas. They don't care about the people. They use people as human shields. When Israel sends a dummy missile over and it falls in a yard, warning people to get out, Israel's wanting to take out that house or take out that building because it is being used to launch rockets into Israel. But Israel doesn't want to kill civilians, so they send a warning. When people get up to leave the house, Hamas puts guns to their heads and threatens to shoot them if they leave. They want casualties. The more casualties they get at the hands of the Israelis, the more money they can raise for themselves. It's all about the fundraising. They don't care about the people. Now, Israel is our ally. They always have been our ally. The problem is we have a pro-Muslim president. He's trying to force Netanyahu, the head of Israel, trying to force him to sit down and negotiate with the very people that declare in their own words, we want to kill you. Hamas doesn't like the fact that Israel is our ally, that we are providing weapons, Hellfire rockets, to Israel. So now they're not wanting to come to the table. They don't want to talk peace as long as we're selling them weapons to defend themselves. Well, now it turns out that Obama has put a stop to it. He's going to cut off arms sales to our ally. He made a comment to his staff that Bibi Netanyahu is unstable and untrustworthy. Bibi Netanyahu is a strong leader. He will do what he needs to do to defend his people. It is Obama that is unstable, spineless, and untrustworthy. It is Obama that is not a leader. He's trying to be a ruler. We don't have rulers in this country, Barack Hussein Obama. We don't have rulers, and we will never have rulers. Switching to London, a nursery, a child's school. A nursery was threatened with bomb threats because one of the kids wasn't given a sandwich that was halal. Muslims need to have food that is prepared in a certain way, and they won't let their kids eat anything else. The school knew it, and it wouldn't feed this child a regular sandwich because it didn't know whether it was halal or not. And if you don't know, it probably isn't. So they threaten with a bomb threat. They let everybody in the Muslim community know that the school is starving my children. If you want your kids to have halal food, send it to school with them. The same to you Muslims here in America. Don't expect our public schools to cook halal food because you don't want to eat our food. If you want to raise your kids to be Muslims, then feed your kids Muslim food. Feed it to them. Send them to school with it. Don't expect us to change to suit your lifestyle. This is America. Love it or leave it. Now, you can eat whatever you want to eat, but don't expect us to cook it and give it to you. Go through the extra cost. Because people, this isn't just preparing a certain kind of food. This isn't just, oh, we need something other than pork. No, this is nobody but a Muslim can touch the food. So now you have to have Muslims hired to run the kitchen. No other food but halal food can be cooked in the same kitchen. You can't cook this food in the same food as you cooked it for a normal person. So they're threatening to blow up a nursery and kill everybody in it. Devout Muslim terrorists are screaming Allahu Akbar and abducting schoolboys in Nigeria. A couple of months ago, they took 500 schoolgirls, and now they grabbed 97 schoolboys. And they'll be probably taken out and slaughtered, or raped, and then slaughtered, or sold as slaves. It's what these savages do. My friends, we've got another break coming up. Please stick with us. We'll be right back.
Missed something today, yesterday, last week? Check out our podcasts at www.kcaaradio.com. AM 1050 KCAA. We leave no listener behind.
Tom O'Halloran.
We'll put a boot in your ass. It's an American way. All brought to you courtesy of the red, white, and blue. Of my red, white, and blue.
Welcome back. This is Jihad on America. I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. Before we get started with the next segment, I want to give away a book by my friend, A Nobody. The book is Native Texan. It's an excellent mystery novel. It's about a native Texan who happens to be a police officer, and the story is about immigration into the state, people coming into Texas from all these other states. The streets are getting more crowded, crime rate is going up, and there are some people that are getting killed. And it's a great story about how the mystery is solved. I'd like to give away a copy. If you want it, be the first one to call 888-909-1050. Okay, we're going to do a kind of an extended set on what's happening with the Islamic State right now. So, and only because it is the worst situation that the world has seen, I believe, since Hitler started rounding up Jews and executing them. Yeah, it's that bad. The Islamic State, or Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, called ISIS. They're a spin-off of Al-Qaeda, which is a spin-off of the Muslim Brotherhood. The same people that have several meaning 7 or 8 people in Obama's administration. He has close ties, Mr. Obama, to the Muslim Brotherhood, who spawned this terrorist organization. Now, Obama has been dismissing ISIS. He says, oh, we wiped out Al-Qaeda. The Islamic State is like the JV team. Well, the JV team has taken most of Syria. It now controls almost half of Iraq. It has rolled through towns, destroying every Christian church, beheading any Christians that wouldn't leave. The Iraqi military lays down their weapons, lays down their uniforms, and walks away, leaving behind Humvees that we sent them, leaving behind Stinger missiles that we provided them, leaving behind all the weapons. ISIS has rolled through town after town. They've taken oil refineries. They've taken a dam, one dam that they control. They could blow the dam and wipe out 1.5 million people. They have taken banks. This terrorist organization is in control of over $2 billion, billion with a B. They are the most well-funded terrorist organization in the history. And as all this is happening, Obama's on Martha's Vineyard playing golf. The president of France was in a press conference and made a comment that President Obama should get serious about this and stop playing golf. He has now played 286 rounds of golf since being elected. He's been to 400 fundraisers. But as Christians are being killed in Iraq by the tens of thousands of Christians are being annihilated, Obama can't step up. But he found a microphone when one black kid was shot in Missouri, didn't he? He found a microphone then to say how terrible this was. One black kid, Obama's on the radio, on the TV. Tens of thousands of Christians, not a word. Not a word. Now, next to the Dalai Lama, the Pope is probably the most peaceful person on the planet. And even the Pope came out this week and said that the world needs to do all that it can to stop the genocide happening in Iraq. The world needs to do all that it can. The Pope is calling for war. The Pope is telling the president to grow a pair, to man up, to be a leader, to have a backbone and go and protect people that are being slaughtered. They had 40 to 60,000 Christians cornered on a mountain, trapped, no way up, no way down. Well, no way up, they're at the top. No way down. The terrorists were making their way up, and as they were working their way through them, they were killing people. They were taking teenage girls and raping them. They were cutting heads off babies and tossing the heads over the side of the mountain. And Obama plays golf. Obama's on Martha's Vineyard in a $10,000 a week house. This is genocide. It is nothing less than genocide. But Obama plays golf. The slaughter of innocents in Iraq, Syria, they even wandered into Jordan last week. Hundreds of children dead. But the UN, the Obama administration, they're going after Israel for war crimes. Israel is doing nothing but defending themselves. These are terrorists slaughtering defenseless people. And between rounds of golf, Obama accuses Israel of war crimes. Obama has asked Congress to cancel the Iraq war authorization. That way he can do nothing to protect these people and sit back and say, I can't send troops because I don't have the authorization. He wants Congress to give him an excuse. He doesn't have the gonads to say, no, we're not going to protect the Christians. No, they can die. No, I don't care because they're Christians. He's not saying it. but you can see by his actions that these are his beliefs. So now he's asking Congress to please cancel the authorization so I don't have the authority to help people. Then come November, he'll point to the Congress and say, hey, all these people died because Congress wouldn't give me permission to go in and protect anybody. It's crap. He's playing politics. He's not being a leader. He's not being a commander-in-chief. Girls getting raped, being released, going back up the mountain to join their family, and they jump off the mountain to commit suicide. Out of shame, out of fear of it happening again. They're begging their family to kill them, and when their family can't do it, they jump off the mountain. Now these scumbags are recruiting on the internet. They're using telephones. They're trying to recruit sex slaves. Oh, I'm sorry, they're called temporary brides. Trying to recruit girls from the West, from the Uyghur girls from China, the Chinese Muslims even, the Uyghurs. Do your duty as a Muslim and come and perform jihad sex. Come and marry a jihadi. By marry, they mean they sign a document saying it's a marriage of convenience. They have sex with you and then they get a divorce. The Muslim girls in China won't have a whole lot of choice about it. They'll just be told to go. Women from the West, some of them are going along with it. Women coming in from France, from the UK. Some of them Muslim, some of them not. They just want to be a part of something big. Go have sex with a person that cuts people's heads off. What a thrill. What a thrill. Meanwhile, the only thing Obama conceded to do was he dropped 2 bombs on guns, big guns that were shooting heavy artillery up a mountain. He dropped 2 bombs and then several plane loads of food and water. But like I said earlier, the food and water was being pushed off the back of an airplane from 15,000 feet with no parachutes. Now you've seen bottles dropped. You've seen watermelons dropped just off of a building 300 feet. They explode. A Coke bottle, 2-liter bottle off of a 5-story building, it explodes. Can you imagine from 15,000 feet? These people up there are dying, not just from beheadings. They're dying of starvation, of dehydration. The temperature over there, it's a hot desert. They've been 4 and 5 days without water. And Obama drops it from 15,000 feet. My friends, stick with us. We've got some more to do, but we've got to take a break. We'll be right back.
If the truth hurts, then AM 1050 KCAA can be a real pain.
Tom O'Halloran has a not-so-common core spelling lesson for the Obama administration. Ready? There is no K in America.
There's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam, hold on to Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, and that ain't my America. Oh no, that ain't my America. No, no, no,
and welcome back. This is Jihad on America. I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. Please be sure to join me next week and every week on Tuesday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Patriot Radio. It's a little bit of this, a little bit of the Islamic stuff because there's so much happening. I can't leave it out completely, but mostly it's U.S. political stuff. It's kind of hard to do any news without touching on this, though. 2 female Italian aid workers who ignored their parents' pleas. They really wanted to provide aid and support, so they slipped into Syria. They've been kidnapped by Islamist militants. And the Italian embassy is working as best they can right now, trying to locate these poor gals. They are probably in serious harm's way. France's top security official says nearly 1,000 French citizens have gone to jihad. We've got a situation here in this country, too. There have been several hundred. We don't know exactly because our State Department doesn't track this because they support jihad. They support the Muslims. They support the terrorists. We fund them. We send them arms. We give them passports. So we don't know how many people living in America that we've given citizenship or at least residency to, how many have gone over to fight in Iraq and Syria and to come home. That's the scary part. Going over there is bad enough because they can kill people. But what if they survive? What if they go over, they get trained on how to make a suicide vest, how to make a car bomb, and they come back? Their mission is still to kill the enemy. But over here, we are the enemy. France has identified who they are. Australia has done the same, and they won't be allowed back into the country. But we don't know who they are. We just know that a lot of people have taken flights from America over to Turkey, Syria, surrounding states where they can make their way to it. It's going to be a very, very dangerous situation when we have a few hundred jihadis living amongst us. Now, we already have training camps here in America. We know they're here. It's not maybe they're here. We know they're here. The FBI knows where they are. But because they claim they're religious camps, the FBI won't touch them. We know they're affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhood, but they swear they're religious camps. So they're left alone, training 5 miles away from our cities. The Islamic Society of North America, another spin-off organization from the Muslim Brotherhood, has their tentacles into school textbooks. I talked about this on the Patriot Radio Show this week. They have been for years taking a serious interest into what's going into the textbooks. Any criticism about Islam or Muslims have been taken out. There's been nothing about the terror, nothing about the thousands of people that are killed every year in the name of Islam. Everything has been watered down, and it's all peaceful and warm and fuzzy feeling. Meanwhile, everything about Christianity is being stripped from the books. Schools are teaching the 10 pillars of Islam, but you try to slip in, or the 5 pillars of Islam, but you try to slip in something about the 10 commandments, and the left has already got the panties in a bunch and screaming, and the ACLU will start suing. In the last couple of decades, textbooks have undergone such a change that they'll dedicate 15, 20 pages to Islam and a half a page to Christianity. Our children are being taught about the Muslim culture, with some schools including field trips, going to mosques, learning how to pray to Allah, teaching the Islamic hand signals, forcing students to wear burqas. But if you try to teach anything about the Christian faith, the left screams. These kids are going to leave our public schools and go into college and get involved with the Islamic college students, which will be grooming them for jihad. The whole world is twisted, my friends. It's not the America that we grew up in. And why isn't the media doing anything about it? Muslims are beheading their landlords. Public schools here in America have prayer rooms for Muslims. We're not allowed to have a crucifix on the wall. We're not allowed to have a moment of silence to pray. But the school districts and the politicians cave to these Islamists, these followers of Mohammed, that goat-raping pedophile. And America is bowing down and letting them have their way. The San Francisco airport has a prayer room for cab drivers to go in and wash their feet. Airport is public property, taxpayer dollars. We can't have a Christian chapel there. Why do they have this? Public schools, again, in New York, Nashville, California, Dearborn, Michigan. Public schools letting Muslims off all day on Friday so they can attend prayers. They have special prayers on Friday, and they're allowed to take off without having to make up the time. The America we know is slipping away, and nobody's saying anything. What are you doing? That's my question. What are you doing? Are you calling your congressmen? Are you calling your senators? Are you posting articles that you see online? Get involved. Go to TomO'Halloran.com. Veronica Coffin posts 10, 15 articles a day on that one website. Find a couple articles that move you, something that you didn't know about. Post them to Facebook. Post them to Twitter. Email them. Print them out. Put them on a bulletin board at work. Let people know that you're aware of what's going on and that you care. Then when you look at the very top of TomO'Halloran.com, there's 12 more websites that we run. There's one about Hillary Clinton. There's one for Jihad on America. There's one on the gay lesbian agenda. Find another website or two. Post some more links. Get the word out there. I've got 140,000 followers on Twitter. That's a lot of readers. But if only 10% would post a few articles a day to Facebook, email, and if only 10% of the people that saw those did the same thing, the number of people waking up in this country would grow exponentially. We've got an election coming up in less than 90 days. We've got to get boatloads of people to get out and vote. And we're going to talk about this next week, because I'm going to ask for a commitment from everybody that is listening. I'm going to ask for a commitment to get 5 people out to vote. It's not too late to turn it back around, my friends, and get our country back on track. But at this point in the fight, you're either helping or you're part of the problem. So it's time to take the gloves off and fight for what you believe in. There's a lot of people out there trying to ruin our country. Some we elected, some we didn't. But either we engage them now or we accept that we're willing to watch America turn into an Islamic state. I'm not willing to do that, are you? Good night, America. This is Tom O'Halloran. God bless you and yours. I'm out.